All right. Welcome back, hopefully. And if not, and you're joining us for the first time, thank you. We are Roll for Revelry. We're here to entertain ourselves, and if you want to watch, that's okay. My name is AJ. I will be the Dungeon Master this afternoon. Going around the room, so to speak, if you'd like to introduce your real-life self, and then we'll get to the introductions of the games we're going to play here in a little bit. I think, Lindsay, you're next.
Hello, I am Lindsay, and I'm super excited to play and have you guys watch.
Cool. I think, Bob?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob, and yeah, thanks for joining.
Yeah. You're the last one.
Hi, I'm Gina.
Sipping on some tea. All right, so we're actually playing a homebrew world, the world of Syrulos, and with that world, we're just kind of creating it ourselves and kind of creating things as we go. We really want a joint effort of world creation and storytelling. So our styles kind of a little bit more free flow kind of stuff. There's not nearly as much. Nothing's really structured that to the point. We have been doing a couple cool things. We started out with playing Kingdom by Ben Robbins. Basically, kind of created roles for each person within the world of Syrulos, and went through separate eras of history, and kind of basically was a world council, and chatted about what would happen, and we introduced problems and solved them, and we have it up on Twitch, but it's not the best quality, and we're going to get it out on a podcast at one point in form. Additionally, we've been doing introduction videos, short little mini sessions, and by short, I mean probably the same size length as a normal session. At least that's what's been happening. But they've been intros for each character, taking them from level 1 to level 5. Our first campaign ended at level 5, so we're kind of all new people. We really want to explore higher levels. So starting back from 1, been there. But let's kind of head out into worlds unexplored. So we'll be starting at level 5. Okay. Do you want to upgrade that?
Mm-hmm.
Bob, I believe you might need to set that up as well.
Yeah, I'm working right now.
Okay, cool. A short little bit about the world of Syrulos, and it won't be long, I promise, but Syrulos is a world of magic and wonder. In the wake of destruction, and is basically a bunch of land and peoples and everything that's ripe for the taking. The destruction came through form of enormous kaiju-esque titans that kind of walked the earth for a period of time, destroyed and did whatever they'd like. And then we're kind of in the fallout 50 or so years later after that. So there are people that do remember their hard times during those 10 years that these titans walked about. But their impact on the land and the world has, not just physical and emotional, but magical, and there's all kinds of fallout from that. So moving forward, we are. I guess we open, so to speak, as far as scening goes, but we open on rolling hills, surrounding a small campfire, next to several large oak trees. Small fire is a part of the camp being broke down by Marxists, and to the north you can see a windmill, and then just beyond that a small farm. There are large mountains standing in the background behind that. To the northwest, you can see the outline wall of the Anchor of Bryn, which is a city. In that city, you can see, even from this distance, the silhouette of a large chain. that chain juts up into the sky and is attached to what looks like a floating landmass. And then attached to that floating landmass is 3 others, and there's 4 of these landmasses floating in the sky. Each have a chain leading down to the Terra of the world, and then chains linking to each other. You can kind of see that in the skyline. To the south, you see a you're relatively close to a small sea or lake, and so Marxus, if you'd like to describe your character and say what exactly you're doing, and as you're breaking down camp. Excellent. So as you're kind of breaking down your camp and munching on some chow, you start to notice an individual walking down the road towards you, and kind of looks like they may not be paying attention to you much. They're just kind of walking out into the world, and they're walking about. And Gina, if you'd like to introduce your character as she's walking down the road, kind of just off on her own set mission.
So my character's name is Narnip. She is a rock gnome rogue. She is very lost in her thoughts this morning because she's been on a fairly recent kick of crisis of conscience and trying to right some of the wrongs that she's caused by stealing and hurting people. So most recently, she was trying to help a widow of one of the first man that she had killed, and stole some goods from what she had heard was a shady, sketchy shop. But what actually turned out to be like a nice guy. So she's trying to figure out how she can correct this wrong. And that's kind of where she's been getting stuck lately, is that when she tries to do good, she usually makes things worse. So that's where she is this morning.
So yeah, you're walking down. Are you going to? Do you notice Merxus? Are you just kind of mumbling to yourself? What's
I do notice him because I'm like very perceptive as a rogue and like always kind of like alert and on the lookout and astute and observant. So I see him, but I'm hoping to just kind of like keep on my way and not interact with this person.
all right?
Yeah.
All right. So you're avoiding each other as Narnip is walking down the road. Excellent. So on that note, are you guys anywhere right now, or
So I have my character's name is Orla Bitterfoot, and I am a gnome bard. I recently had embarked on a journey of like self-discovery, and met a lot of really cool people along the way. Um, one of them being my mentor, but I felt that I was actually ready to do some things on my own, so I decided to change paths. And I just kind of started adventuring on my own about a day ago. Came up to these forests, and as I'm walking out of them a little bit right now, I come up on a path and I notice like a campfire and all this stuff like ahead of me, and a couple of people ahead of me as well that I've never seen before. So I'm going to try to walk up and say hello. Hello. I'm Orla. No. Why would I hurt you? No need to be scared. You just looked like a friendly person, and I am trying to make my way to the city. Is this the way I go?
As they were talking, I've like crept up and I'm standing next to Dan. What's your character's name? Marxist?
Merxus?
And then out of,
Marxist? Like you're like a communist? No, I'm how do you spell your name? Merxus?
Wait, is it? I thought there was a U.
yeah, SUS. Mark.
Oh, okay.
Real quick, let me jump in because I'm just going to give some context and introduce my character because my character this whole time is on the edge of the woods, just observing what you guys are doing. Not quite sure if I want to engage or not, so I'm just kind of trailing you guys right now. And my character's name's Tata, and it's a white dragonborn, and that's all you guys are going to get to know right now. as I hide in the woods. Oh, observe from the woods.
Kata, are you hiding alone?
Well, I'm hiding, so unless I'm found out, then
No, but like, are you hiding alone? Is it just you, or do you have anybody that, any companion with you right now?
no, it's just me.
Okay.
Observing.
Okay. I just want to make sure I know all the parties involved.
Yeah. Check your message tab.
Yeah.
Do I do it under HP modifier or rolled HP?
Rolled.
Okay. I mean, it's been a long trip, so I won't say no. Whoop.
So Dan, I've crept up next to you. Do you?
Yep.
Put that down before you get hurt. Okay. What were these people? You said people were trying to attack you, and you think they were assassins? Did you get a good look at them? What did they look like? Were they wearing cloaks?
That sounds weird. Where was this at?
What kind of package? Is it something valuable?
Mm.
I want to try and steal the package.
Cool. All right. Like right out of his hands?
Yeah.
Make a sleight of hand check. You guys are a delight.
At 20 with my modifier is 28.
All right. Dan, I guess one of two things. Are you going to try to swipe it away, like out of reach, or are you going to try to hold on to it so that she cannot pull it away from you? Make an athletics check. Yeah. We'll say she, despite, it's like one of those things like you're holding onto it tight and she kind of pulls it and then you pull it back for a second and then it's just gone out of your hands. You're like, you like tried. But now you have, Narnip, you're holding a, it's about like the size of an American football. I figure it's suiting for today. And it's wrapped in brown, like wrapping kind of paper. Like actually, it's like a burlap, kind of rough burlap, and then it's wrapped with twine. And there is a an address written on a note. It almost looks like a present in that sense, that there's like a little tag where it says that this is to be delivered.
Who does it say it's to be delivered to?
It says that it's to be delivered to. I don't know if we actually covered that in your. Yeah. So it is to be delivered to a Altalas Wervanian of 435 Down Street in the Priests Valley district of the Anchor of Tyrann.
Is that the name of the shopkeeper that I robbed?
No, but you
No.
understand. She said out loud. No.
What is going on?
Next time you could just, yeah, I mean, do you say that out loud?
No.
Next time you can just say, hey, do I recognize this?
Okay.
You do not recognize this address, though you are familiar with the Priest Valley district, as we both kind of know. But this address does not speak out to you in any way. Actually, you're not even sure if there is a down street. Down street doesn't make like down. It's like almost a pun of like down the street, down like it's.
So that address doesn't make any kind of sense.
Yeah, it's. I mean, at least to your knowledge. But then again, you've been around that area for a fair amount, and I feel like you would know. You'd recognize the street if you heard the name, but you wouldn't be like, "Oh, I know exactly where that's at."
Me being the person, I like to protect like underdogs, and I didn't really like seeing something taken away from someone else. So I'm gonna turn around and be like, "Hey, that wasn't very nice. You should give that back."
I will. I just want to know what's in it, and he wouldn't tell me what's in it. So tell me what's in it. Well, what if it's something valuable and that's what the people in the cloaks were chasing you for? Wouldn't you be like told that you're carrying something valuable by the people who asked you to deliver it? Aren't you kind of curious what's in here, though?
Okay.
Let me just, like, nobody will be able to tell that I opened it. Let me just, like, peek at it and see what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it's up to you, Narnip, whether you are lying or just kind of persuading. But it's up to you to roll persuasion or deception for the contesting roll.
I'm not lying. I will give it back to him if it's not valuable.
Okay.
I rolled another nat 20! 22.
All right. I mean, she's pretty persuasive. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how your character feels about it. So I mean, you can, but like, it's a persuasive argument. She said she sounds like she'll do it.
I accept and take a swig and give it back to you. Say thank you.
As you take a swig, you look down, like you have the package in one hand, you take a swig, you hand it back to him, and your passive perception is high enough to see a just on the horizon, on the edge of the forest, on the woods, you see a small, not like super small, but like a medium size red dragon, like young. Just kind of walking past, and he looks like he has something in its mouth.
I'm going to very quietly say to Orla and Marxus, "We are not alone." And I'm going to like motion like with my eyes towards the forest where the drake is.
Are you trying to tell me something with your eyes?
Look over there. Look over there.
Oh. There's a dragon over there.
And you see
Dragon.
Yeah, you see this it's a young drake. There's no wings on this dragon. Depending on how much you know about dragons, that's up to you whether or not you want to perceive one thing or another for that. You are it just kind of seems like it's kind of walking along the woods, and then at a certain point it stops, and it just kind of drops this hunk of meat, this leg of some kind of animal, as if it was hunting at one point.
Me being the gnome that I am, and pretty small, how much bigger is this drake than me?
You might come up to its shoulder, but like it's a long, because it's not winged.
Like Mushu?
It's not big. It's just kind of like, it's about the size of a panther.
What should we do?
Why? It already has food. Don't bring it over here.
It is also like 100 feet away from you.
Does it look like it's kind of minding its own business and not coming towards us at all?
I mean, it doesn't seem to really notice you guys.
Okay.
I'm not too worried about it.
Me neither.
I want to open this package. It's over there. It's not, if it comes down here, we'll take care of it then, but it's over there minding its own business. So let's just stay here and mind our business.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it be. Pretty far away. I'm small. It can't see me anyways.
So that said, there's just a young dragon kind of poking about in your area right now, and you guys are checking out this package. All right, you open it up, and in the burlap package there is a piece of it's a loaf of bread. And it's like a hollow loaf, and it has these like this spiral twist of two, you cut it in half, you bake, you get it. It's like two loaves twisted together. But it's also kind of scrunched up, like you don't have, it's like kind of smushed yet. Like Merxus didn't do the best job of taking care of it.
I'm gonna roll on the ground with laughter. You're like, you were carrying around a piece of bread. I'm so. I don't-
Why would you be delivering a loaf of bread?
Well,
Is
maybe
there
they were
something
setting
in
you
the
up.
loaf? Oh, or maybe they were setting you up. That's a good point, Orla. Okay, Marxist.
Brewer. Who's the brewer?
Oh, Tolgan.
Hmm. Do you think the Angiba feel like threatened by them?
At this point, you guys notice that the Drake has disappeared. Everybody rolls perception check.
Dan, is there something wrong with your laptop? This is my third nat 20.
You got weighted digital dice.
Yeah, right.
27.
Nice.
Perception? Oh, God damn it. I also got a 12. Right.
Dope. That's cool. It popped up in the log. Awesome. Um, what was your roll?
27.
27. Okay.
Damn.
So you notice that now the this Drake is a little bit closer to you guys, and it's currently in like a prowling stance in some high grass about 50 feet away from you guys.
I'm gonna alert Orla and Marxus and say, the Drake is closer. It's over there.
Right.
I'm gonna put my
What are you guys doing?
Are you guys good with animals?
Seems pretty big.
It seems to be coming closer and closer to you guys, and it thinks that it's hidden very well, but it's like the way that like a lion is prowling after a gazelle, and it's coming closer towards you guys.
I'm gonna say with my hand on my rapier, I can see you.
Doesn't
At
resist.
At this point, seeing everyone grab their weapons, I'm gonna emerge from the tree line behind them and say, "That would be a bad idea. Put down your weapons."
At that moment, you see the Drake jump up and pounce, and a bunch of birds flush, and he swats at one in the air but misses.
Like a dog.
Who am I? I've been watching you. I think the better question is, why are you delivering bread? A better question is, why would the three of you draw a weapon on an animal that has done you no harm? Would you attack? Would you attack a creature unprovoked?
No, he looked like he was about to hunt us, and I'm very small.
Do you not forage for food? Do you not look perhaps like predators?
Yeah, maybe.
There is no honor in harming animals.
Okay, it's
So at this point, two things. I have a question. Narnip, did you break open the bread to see if there was anything in it?
No, I was going to try and touch it and see if I could, without breaking it, see if I could feel if there was anything in it or like if it smelled weird, just to like investigate it further.
All right. Kata, can you roll a history check for me? And additionally, you now see that this red drake, young drake, is kind of walking up and approaching Kata, relatively calmly, but kind of keeping an eye out for you guys, or at least that's what it looks like.
16.
Cool. This bread has. It's probably just bread. It's probably just a challah bread, but like the twisting motion kind of it's reminiscent of a particular design of two twisted tails that your people are familiar with.
Got it. And I noticed this?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't like normally the twisted parts have points like almost like an arrowhead.
Yeah.
And it's these two tails that are twisting and then kind of loop back together on the like a figure eight on the bottom. But this is just like twisted bread. It's a little mushed up, so it's not necessarily the perfect position that it may have been in at one point. But yeah, as you're squeezing the bread too, it doesn't seem like there's anything in it. It just seems like bread.
Shall we go see who this bread belongs to? Try to get to them?
Friend. And I grab the water skin from him, and I say, "But you will take us to where you got this bread, or you will take us to where it was going. We will get to the bottom of this, and no harm will come to this group." And then I finish the water skin. Yeah, I drink the whole thing. It's gone.
Sure.
Yes. It's strange because this isn't an address in the city. I'm pretty familiar with that part of town, and this is no street that I've ever seen.
Mm.
I mean, I'm very curious to see who this bread is for on this mystery non-existent street. And I'm also curious because I saw some folks in cloaks. Folks in cloaks. Around the priest's quarters very late last night. And I wonder if they might be the same people who attacked you or associated with them.
All this sounds real fishy to me.
Sure you do.
I also heard from the bartender that about a year ago, some smugglers came and raided his bar, and he didn't know what they were looking for, but they didn't find it at the bar. Lots of strange pieces. Say that again, Arla?
Was it on Down Street, the bar?
No, because I don't think there is a down street.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's about opposites. Is there an up street?
There's an up dog.
Oh my-
um, I say so. Okay.
Scaredy cat.
I'll go first.
Yeah, you and your little pet can prowl up there. I'll be in the middle.
Behind Bob, I guess. Behind
Alright.
Kata.
So as you guys are heading back the road that basically that Narnip came from, and that the road that you kind of took a little bit the night before Merxus, and then I believe you guys haven't been to this city, or at least in some time. So that said, as you are heading down the road, you hear a series of bells, but they're not like crisp good bells. It's like one or two bells, but it's ging, 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 and it's like this strange little warning bell that you hear. It looks like it's coming from the farm off to the north east.
Do I
Well,
know this farm?
That doesn't sound very good. Is anyone familiar with that area?
No?
No, they're not. They're not monastic bells by any means. Narnip, you've maybe heard of this farm, but that's it. I mean, you've never been out there. And yeah.
Should we go see if someone's in trouble? Okay.
I look at my dragon, and I look at all of you, and I say, I should have properly introduced my friend here. This is Oki. And then I look at Oki and I say, Oki, this is a farm. Do not eat the livestock. And then I motion towards the farm.
All right.
Snake.
You guys are heading in the same order, I assume, to
Yeah.
the okay. So as you are heading to this farm, make a perception check, everybody.
Use it different. Ooh, sorry.
Oh, hey, that's cool. I can see what you're rolling, Dan.
See, I said that about Gina's. Yeah.
I also got a 17. Yeah, it showed right at the top of the screen. That's cool.
What?
Yeah. Oh my
Get out
God,
of here.
Gina.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that? Yeah, I'm on it.
It's rigged.
So
27.
you
Wow.
Right.
Did you
So-
just? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry,
You
Lon,
guys-
are you taking it today?
Yeah, right. You guys see a Gina catches it. Sorry, Narnip catches it, but there is one individual you kind of see that's crouched down next to a bush just outside of the farm. And it looks like they're coming from the northwest of this farm. You guys are kind of coming from the southwest.
And there's how many are there?
You see one just now.
Crouched down like they're hiding, or crouched down like they're hiding in fear, or crouched down like they're hiding because they're gonna like preparing to attack or something.
The latter, probably more than the former,
Oh.
by their stance.
Do they see us?
Roll. Are you guys trying to hide?
though.
No.
Yeah, they see you.
I'm gonna say there's a person hiding behind that bush to everybody else and point out where the bush is.
How far is that bush from us?
I'd say it's probably about 60 feet away from you guys, and it is you're probably about, or it's probably about 50 feet away from the farm. So as you guys are coming up on this,
Got it.
there's like a dirt road between you both too.
So I'm going to yell out
To the farm.
in the direction of the bush and say, "Stand, coward! There's no honor in attacking with stealth. Stand and fight."
Good thing to say.
You shout this because they're like
yeah.
50 feet away from you.
Yeah, oh yeah, loud.
Okay. So you loud shout this, and you see them like gesture down to you and say, "Get down." Indicating that you should get down.
You should be quiet.
Can I do a
Okay.
perception
So they're not
check to
attacking
see if-
us.
No,
Yeah,
they're facing the farm.
Oh shit. Can I like look towards the farm and then do like an extra perception check to see if I see anything like in the field that the farm he's like looking at?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
18.
You do notice there's a few small individuals. By the glance in the distance you're away from them, you don't necessarily know what they are, but there's two that run and look like they're running into the cellar.
So I'm gonna duck down, I guess. I don't know.
I'm gonna look at the group and just say, "Wait here," and then sneak my way up to the little crouch bush guy.
Roll a stealth check.
Roll what?
Stealth check if you're sneaking.
Woof. 11.
That's your girlfriend. Woof. 11. Yeah, right. It's not the greatest sneak. You do notice there's other individuals that start to pop their head up as they see you. And there's a human male with long brown hair and a twig kind of leaf wreath or crown. There's a woman in a half plate armor. And then there's another woman in blue robes that kind of pop their head up as they all notice you. They are in what seems to be, and especially with you and your background, seems to be some kind of strategic formation approaching the barn, the farm.
Okay. So I'm going to address the one in the bush. What's going on here?
This farm holds a number of resources that are technically owned by the Anchor of Bryn. We've been hired to procure them, and they don't seem to be willingly giving them up. There's goblins about, and we're going to take care of the issue.
Are you saying you have legal right, or the person you work on behalf has legal ownership of these goods?
Yes, they belong to the Anchor of Bryn through many negotiation, and they need to be procured as we were hired by the bureaucracy.
And the goblins are here. Why?
Well, I assume they're attacking this farmstead. We weren't given much more information other than that.
Okay. What is your plan for attack?
I will be moving up around, and he kind of lays out a small little battle plan. Says that the armored one is going to kind of move up closer towards the fence, and they're going to try to take the house from the angle that they're at, while kind of flanking on either side. The one in robes is supposed to head left. He is supposed to head right, and then the one with the leafy crown, like what is it called? Bramble crown, is going to be following up the one in half plate.
Does it, from my background, does it seem like a good plan?
As good as a plan that I can come up with as AJ right now.
And do they seem like adequate fighters?
Yeah, they seem to be probably in the same category as you all.
Okay.
In some sense. And he kind of gestures to them, and has them hold for a little bit. And he kind of mentions, he's like, we can certainly allow, we can alter this to allow you to join the fray. If you'd be happy to help us, we'd be happy to split the rewards with you.
Okay, hold tight. And I'm gonna run back to the group and let them fill them in on what's going on.
All
right. Hey guys, there's some goblins attacking this farm, and the rightful owners have hired this ragtag group of soldiers to come and retrieve their goods. As they're the rightful owners, I will help them get their goods back. But they have offered to split the reward. So if anybody would like to join in the fight, Oki and I are going to go back there and kill some goblins.
I'll help out.
Ready.
What say you, janitor? Do you have any other weapons besides your broom handle? Ah, okay. Oh. All right. Those will do. Yes, exactly. You should have started with those.
You should have let him.
Okay, let's go get in on this. Aim for the head.
All right. So as you are all approaching, they've kind of shifted their attack to what looks to be further north, while you are to take the further south, and then the 8 of you will be taking the farm. Everybody, roll a perception check for me.
Oh. 8.
11.
18.
One more time.
No, not a 20.
Not at 20. 18.
18. Merxus and Narnip, you notice that there are now 2 other small individuals as you guys approach, that are heading into the cellar. There's a cellar door off to the what would be the south end of the farmhouse and the farmstead. As you are approaching to the north side, there are like several like chopped down trees. And it's just like kind of like a little like a home use lumber yard, so to speak. And you're approaching. Everything seems to be on the back side of the farm where you are at. There's a silo, a small silo, a barn. There doesn't seem to be any livestock, but there's a few fields with some kind of low-growing crop behind on the opposite side. And you see, you see 2 small individuals. They look to be like in probably about Narnip or Orla's height. walking in like looking in, scrambling towards the cellar in what looks like fear.
Fear. Are those the goblins?
As you're approaching, you're probably what are they, about 50? You're probably about 30 feet away now. From the first like fence of the barn or the farm. Sure. What's your speed? Yeah, I'd say that they're probably 10 yards or 10 feet beyond that. Um, as you sprint up, you you just sprint up on these people and do a starting strike. Okay.
Are these the
Um,
goblins?
14 to hit. Let me bring up my stuff. You kind of jumped the gun. I don't know where. You're good. 14 doesn't hit. 14, yeah, 14 hits. Cool. 21 hits. All right. Um, on save of 11. They beat the con save. The first one. Oh yeah, they beat the con save. So they beat the con save. They're not stunned, but you walk up and um, as you punch, and you know exactly the strike to follow up with, and then you cross over and you hit the other one. They both kind of, in their selective ways, fall back. Uh, Not stunned, but they are knocked prone. And you see two goblins on the ground that are in they're not in leathers or anything else like that. They're just kind of in like basic clothing, basic garb.
So from oh, sorry, go ahead, Dan. I was gonna ask, since I've heard of the farm, do I know anything about like who owns it? I know I've never been there, but don't know the owner, but I was wondering if I know if it's owned by goblins or if it's owned by the Burin whatever island.
Make a history check.
Excuse me.
Untitled.
6.
All right. You don't know who owns it. You don't know if they are owned by goblins or not. You do recall the bartender as you came back into town and you asked, "Hey, what has happened in the past 6 years or 7 years or whatever?" You asked a bartender randomly, and he was like, "Yeah, well, we got new owners at the bar." And but he did mention that called Bryn, Lana Bryn has been changing things, and things have been changing around the city with the mindset that there's more inclusion. But that's kind of all you can fathom.
Okay.
Remember at the time.
I'm going to see. Let's see what languages I speak. Okay.
AJ, did these goblins react at all to Dan just running up and punching him? Besides,
actually,
falling.
if we want, they're on the ground. They like if everybody wants to roll initiative, we can do that too. Actually, yeah, everyone roll initiative for me. Let me know what you got. Just so we can get that out of the way if this turns out to be a full on battle.
20.
18.
15.
Lindsay got a 20.
Yeah,
Kayla, what'd you get?
20. Oh, 20.
15.
Yeah, Dan, outside of gameplay, I really like that your character is like, oh no, are you an assassin? I'll hide. Oh no, are you an assassin? I'll hide. Oh no, a dragon? I'll hide. Goblins? I'll sprint up there and punch those guys.
All right, Orla, you are up first.
So I am going to. This is one action, myself, an hour. I'm going to walk up to. Well, first I'm going to cast Comprehend Languages. I'm going to have a little pouch that has some like soot and some salt in it. I'm just going to take out and draw like a circle around me and kind of probably hum a little tune as I'm doing it happily. And so for an hour, I can understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that I hear. I can also understand any written language that I see, but I must be touching the surface. So, yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to walk up to them. I'm not sure if they will understand me, but I'm going to say, are you trying to rob this farm? Like, what are you doing here?
So as you approach these two goblins, dressed in basic commoner's garb, they are they got the wind knocked out of them.
Mhm.
They just had this giant fat cat sprint up to them and then falcon punch both of them. And they're just kind of like, we're not trying to rob anything. What do you mean? And they're speaking common. It's kind of broken, but they're like,
so they can
what do you mean?
It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Do you know this gentleman that's back there that's hiding? He's claiming that you are stealing things from his farm.
His farm? What? I don't know what you mean. What do you mean his farm? Who is that?
I don't know. Do you live here?
Yes, we live here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I think that this is just like a very big misunderstanding. And I help them up, they're kind of like knocked down. I'm not just like constantly talking down to them. I'm helping them up as well. Dusting them off a little bit, like, oh. Checking on them to make sure they're okay.
All right.
Are we still engaging?
They are currently at 2 hit points.
Oh my god. Okay.
Are we still engaged in combat?
Yeah, you can kill anybody you want. What's that?
Are we still engaged in combat at this point?
Yes. There's still a combat order, and they are actually up next. So you see, for their turn, these two goblins are they kind of like are put off by you guys, and you guys are talking to them about things, but they're still off. And one a third goblin comes by and kind of picks them both up and hurries them towards the cellar.
Makes me so.
And then yeah, that is their turn. Narnip, you are up.
Before they go down in the cellar, can I yell out, wait, what kind of farm is it? What do you have here that they would want?
That is basically what you shout out as the cellar door closes, because their turn was before yours.
Do I see anything in the barn?
No, not anything. I mean, the barn's behind the farmhouse, so you'd have to like go check out the farmhouse or the barn behind the farmhouse and just run back there.
I'm going to turn to the rest of the folks and say, I think that those guys are the aggressors and we need to protect these people and not the other way around.
I absolutely agree with you. They speak common. Like, I know it's a little bit broken common, but they told me that this was their farm.
At that point, you see the individual that was hiding behind the bush, we'll just call it what it was, the druid with the bramble wreath, the individual in half-plate armor, and then the individual in robes start moving aggressively towards the house.
Gina, sorry, what's your character's name? Narnip. Are you still in your turn?
No, my turn's done.
All right,
Okay.
then actually, Kata, you're up next.
Yeah, so at this point, I'm blowing everyone's plan up. You're yelling super loud again towards the crown people, and I just yell, stop, at full blast. And I say, somebody tell me who owns this house so I can kill the other people. And I look at the crown guy and I say, if you lie to me, my dragon will eat you.
Yep.
And then I knock on the cellar door and I say, goblins, come up here. You're safe. We need to get to the bottom of this.
You open up the door to the goblins. They're currently not coming out, in part of fear, but in part of it's also not their turn. And we're kind of still technically in combat.
Yep.
And we're still technically in combat because as you say all of this, you see the individual that's hiding behind the bush, and they are they pull out a short bow,
Yeah.
light an arrow on fire, and then shoot it at the farmhouse.
Right. So is that yelling my action?
Yep.
Okay,
Damn
so
it.
then
These guys.
Oki,
Oh yeah,
who
that's right.
takes
Okay.
action directly after me, on a full sprint, lunges for the jugular of the crowned druid.
The crown druid. Okay.
Or is that the one that shot at the house, the crown druid?
No.
Oh no. Okay,
the
no.
guy
He
with the
lunges
crown?
towards he lunges towards the archer.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Okay, let me see real quick. Attack. Oh, sweet. It's got a pretty good plus. 24.
Okay. 24 hits.
Okay. So 1d6. Oh, woof. So 1 piercing and 3 fire damage.
1 piercing and 3 fire damage.
It's not bad.
4 damage total. All right.
Now, was that arrow able to get to the house, or was like his little buddy able to disrupt that guy's aim?
So as the arrow's drawn back, he gets pounced on by this red drake, and the arrow flies off astray, missing the house, but landing somewhere beyond the house. It is now the druid folks' turn, and they look over, and he sees that now this dragon, this red drake, is now apparently attacking his crew, and he goes, they've turned on us, and casts Entangle on your dragon. Gonna need to roll a strength saving throw.
Got it. Oh.
Actually, who else is near the dragon? How far away you guys would you say you're from the dragon?
Who, like everyone else?
Yep.
Yeah, I was close because I walked up
Yeah.
closer to the cellar door, so I kind of
Just
Oh,
so yeah, you guys are probably still about 25 feet away.
I would say so.
Okay. So your dragon, you see this brambly vines kind of encroach up from the ground and then strap down over the back of your drake companion and pull you down, and Oki's kind of restrained. Merxus the Merciful. You are up. Yeah. Yeah, they're at the farmhouse fence at this point. They're about 10 feet apart from each other. All right, roll for an attack. Are you attacking the archer or are you attacking the druid? I'd say the archer is. And what was your attack? I'm sorry. 12 does not hit. $18 hits. Okay. 19 hits. Hits. All right. Cool. All right. The archer, you run up and pop, 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 and is not looking great. You see the one in half plate male look over to you, and she's just like, what the fuck is going on? And runs up to you. Runs up to you and swings a warhammer at you.
Yowzers.
Duck.
Does an 11 hit? Cool. She swings and misses as you kind of are able to step right out of the way, and this big hammer hits and sinks into the earth. She then is going to bring it back up and swing back over for her multi-attack. And does a 15 hit? Cool. She misses that again. And misses and swings high, bringing it back over. And then it is going to be the one in the robe's turn. Who's going to run up behind them. And where's everybody else at?
By the cellar door.
Yeah.
Okay. You see this one in robes look over to all of you at the cellar door, and she's going to cast sleep in the area.
No,
Whoa.
that's what I was gonna do.
All right. So starting with the lowest, who has the lowest hit points in that area?
I have 22.
I have 30 something. I have 39.
I'm in the 40s.
I'm the lowest at 22. Was I supposed to change my hit points at all?
Did we roll for your fourth and fifth level? Yeah. Okay, we'll figure it out here in a sec. So moving forward though, who has the lowest current hit points in that group?
Yep.
I'm at full too.
All right. So whoever's has the lowest total hit points then takes 19 damage. Is that how that
Whoa.
works?
Alright, I'm about to die.
Woof.
Like 90% sure I'm doing this wrong. So here I'm casting a spell. I don't even know how it works.
I just went to sleep.
Yeah. So whoever has, does anybody have 19 hit points or less?
Nope.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure none of you take damage, and the hit points it's just ineffective on anybody because your hit points are not your hit points are all too high.
Got it.
Okay.
Too strong.
Yeah. Yeah. If the hit points on the roll equaled your hit points, then that person would fall unconscious, and then further and further and further. So there's that. Cool. So moving on, we're back at the top of the order for Orla.
Okay, so I am going to, since those goblins are probably still pretty hurt, sitting in there cowering. Is the door still open to the cellar?
I believe Kata opened it to tell them to come out, and yes, it's still open.
Okay, if I peek my head in there, can I see them?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to peek my head in there, and I am going to cast Mass Healing Word on them.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so all of them. So I call out the words of restoration to up to 6 creatures of my choice that I can see within range, and they will gain 1d4 plus 4 for each of them.
Is mass healing word? How long does it take to cast? What's it say? It's
Instantaneous.
okay.
Dang.
Oh, yeah.
So roll them d4s.
So 1d4, I do it 4 times though, because there's 4 of them down
No,
there.
they each will get that.
Oh, okay. So I rolled 1d4 plus 4, so 5. They each get 5.
5 heals.
It's
Okay.
just healing. It's not temporary hit points.
And smiling at them like.
All right.
Wanna get some healing?
The goblins are next. They're going to remain in the cellar, cowering. They are afraid. This seems to be something that they may have expected to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and how would they know if it was, I mean, if they didn't live there, that cellar was there?
Arnip, you are up.
Okay. I am going to cast sleep in like the middle of like their little triangle.
I'm gonna guess. All right.
I'm gonna do that.
So in that group, you will probably be able to hit all of them. Is that your 8d8?
Yeah, 5d8, and I rolled 22.
And you roll, and it's at first level.
Nice.
All right. So the individual that was behind the bush, the archer, falls down fast asleep, and that is it.
What? They all have more than 20. All right, fine. Well, one of them's sleeping. That's good.
You were like 2 health points off from getting another one, but yeah.
Okay. All right, and that will be my turn.
All right. Kata, you're up, and then Oki.
Was it real quick? Was it the archer or was it the thorn guy that cast sleep or entanglement on my dragon or on my drake?
The thorn guy, the druid.
Druid, but he's already pretty beat up. Okay, I'm gonna go after the liar. I'm gonna go after the thorned fighter. I'm gonna go right up to him, and I'm going to double attack. I'm gonna 2-hand fight with my hand axes.
Uh-huh.
So 25 to hit and 21 to hit.
Both hit.
Okay, so 5 slashing, 10 slashing total. And I could do attack twice actually, so I'm going to do that again.
Cool. So
25 to hit.
you have
That
2 weapon
hit.
fighting?
I have 2-handed fighting, and I have 2 attacks.
Okay. So your
I can
first
attack twice per action.
Yeah, but it's like, so your action of attack is your right hand, and then your bonus action is your offhand. And then you can attack a second time with your dominant hand. Or did you take
So my
Yeah, I don't think you have a fighting style for 2-handed fight. Everybody has 2-handed fighting, but you don't have a specific thing that allows you. So it's action.
I have action in combat, 2 weapon fighting.
Yeah.
When you take the attack action,
But if you had a fighting style that was specifically to 2-weapon fighting, it'd still be a bonus action actually. So yeah, it's a bonus action to swing your offhand.
right? But then I also have the action where I get 2 attacks per attack action. So in addition to 2-handed, so I can go right, left, and then right again.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least for now, until I figure it out, and we'll talk during the week.
Okay. Yeah, so then for my second one, so 25 hits then. So then I need to do another one, another 4. So 14 total slashing. And for the last one, no, that's good. Actually, that's good.
What was the total damage?
14.
14 total between all 3 hits.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Oki gonna try to break out of this entanglement?
Yep.
All right. Oki needs to roll a strength saving throw for me, or strength check for me.
10.
10.
Yep.
All right. Does not break free.
Well,
It's still kind of latching on. But he actually does need to make a Constitution saving throw. 5 plus 1. So, because you attack the druid, he can't maintain concentration, and the entanglement actually drops.
oh, sweet. Was that
Yeah.
before then?
Yes, that was before.
Okay. So then Oki would still get an attack.
Yeah, we'll do that for now.
Or no?
It's you have to command him to attack for your bonus action, but since you took your bonus action to attack to hit,
Oh, okay. Got
but
it.
if you're gonna be a dual wielder, we'll talk about that. We'll figure it out. But as of right now, if you want him to attack, we can figure it out. We'll have him attack this.
Oh no, because it says right there bonus action. So we'll just come back around to him.
All right, cool. All right, so up next is the bard archer who is asleep, and misses out on his turn. Bardcherer. And the druid, the crowned druid, is going to run over, shake the bard awake, and I don't know if that's the action for shaking. Let's see. And then is going to look over and cast Thunderwave at you all.
Fine.
So everybody from 15 feet from the druid needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm still by the. I don't think I'm
I don't think you are either.
15 feet, but I'm still by that.
But that would be Oki, Kada, and Merxis.
Nat 20 for 23 for Kada.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and there's the complete opposite. Nat 1 for Oki.
So Oki's gonna take 13 damage. Everybody else is gonna take 6.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
I can't turn it off. Literally.
Doesn't turn off. All right. Awesome. And then you kind of see the druid starting to drag the bard away from all of you with the last little bit of his movement, which isn't much. It's kind of, they're like 15 feet further away than you guys wanted. Merxis the Merciful, you are up. All right. Misses. Hits. Roll for damage. Cool. I'll stop you right there and save you the key point. As you run up and you smack him with your mop handle, crack right in the head, and he is unconscious on the ground. Oki has just broken out of that entanglement, and is kind of like probably about 15 feet away from you guys because the druid was dragging the bard further away. The from 15 feet back where you were at before, is the fighter with the warhammer. All right. So you swing your quarterstaff. Roll to see if you hit. Dirty 20 does hit.
Dan, as you make your swinging motion with that one, Oki turns and imbues fire onto it for a d6 of fire damage. So add a d6.
Okay. Cool.
It's also like a magical fire. It doesn't disintegrate your stick. It's like your mop handle doesn't disappear.
Hey, man, that's up to you. That's up to how you guys want to flavor it. So that's fair.
Dragon magic.
Dragon magic.
It's like the fire like like encases the stick. It doesn't make direct contact.
All right. So as you see that, the fighter takes this hit and is like, "What the hell?" and gives a nod to the one in the robes behind her, and she sprints towards the druid. Oh wait, the druid's unconscious. Yeah. Sprints towards the druid and scoops them up and starts to drag them away from the battlefield, away from the house. Looks as if they're trying to flee. So actually, yeah, she's going to move, 5 feet. So she's like moving 10 feet further away from you guys, kind of dragging the druid on the ground, who's unconscious. And then the caster is going to move their full speed of 30 feet further away, so she's about twice as far from everybody else, heading back to what looks like towards the Anchor of Bryn. That is Orla's turn.
How far away are they from me from like now? Like 60 feet, would you say?
They are, the caster is probably 70 or 80 feet, because you're at the cellar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, as you guys have kind of been fighting this 10 and 15 feet here and there, the caster's probably 70 feet away from you, booked it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the caster's probably in between them. They're probably about 50 feet away. The big fighter dragging the druid, and then the bard's a little bit closer to you.
The fighter dragging the druid is 50 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to cast Zone of Truth. I have a ranged 60 feet, and then it is a 5 feet cube. It just takes one action, so I can do it immediate. But I'm going to yell, you need to tell us who you are and what you're doing here. And they have to make, until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time or starts its turn, it must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius.
Okay. So they actually, as you cast that, they just don't. They like look over at you, and they kind of have this, if it was like a cartoon, bubbles around their head or something like that. But none of them say anything. They don't have to say anything, but if they did say something, they have to tell the truth to their knowledge.
Right.
But they're not like forced to speak.
Right.
So they look over and do nothing. Up next are the goblins, who will cower. Narnip, you are up.
Bonus action.
I'm gonna disengage from battle and make my way towards the barn to check it out.
Okay. So you head towards the barn on the backside of the farmhouse. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
All right. And your passive perception sees that that stray arrow has started a small fire in what was now 18 seconds of combat. And there's a small fire in the next to the barn that's been lit by that stray arrow bolt. While you run over there, would you like to do anything? I'll still give you an action of something.
I'm gonna shout fire, and I'm gonna cast Mage Hand. Is there like a well nearby?
There is a well. It's off back behind the probably about 10 feet behind the house. There seems to be a bucket on it. You gotta have to like crank down and head down, scoop up what you need.
Can the mage hand pick up the bucket and scoop out some water?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll let the mage hand. We'll say because it's you kind of did the perception and figured out what's going on and ran back there. We'll say that the bucket is on its way up, full of water, but not yet to the. You'll have to be able to move the mage hand next turn.
Okay.
Katie, you're up.
How can I still see the crowned one?
Yeah. They're probably about 20 feet away. Did I say what they said? Yeah, about 20 feet away from you, being dragged by the fighter in half plate.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna run up and attack the fighter. And I'm gonna use my same little combo there. So double hand axe. First one's a 17. Second one is an 11.
All right. 17 and 11 both hit.
Oh, okay.
You're attacking the druid?
The fighter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fighter.
The fighter's AC is 20. So neither hit.
Either hit. Okay, so both of those fail. Cool. So I realized that, and then as my second attack action, I'm gonna use my breath weapon.
All right.
So I'm gonna, realizing that the axes did not make contact, I'm gonna lean my head back a little bit and then unleash a fury of freezing cold, and ice at them for 11 damage.
Okay. So you blast out this 11
that hit.
damage. Do they make a saving throw?
Yeah, 14 Constitution, and technically it would hit both of. If they're both right next to each other, it would also hit the druid that's being dragged.
Correct. So the druid takes a death save hit because they're unconscious, and the fighter also takes 11 damage.
Cool. And that. Oh, and then. So that's my turn. And then.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I know. Very cool to get out of the fucking combat.
Yeah, Oki's just gonna hang tight. So that'll be the end of both our turns.
All right. So up next is the bard, who now is awake and is going to run and start sprinting past everybody to bail with them. They're going to take their dash action and just run around you guys 60 feet. They're probably caught up with the mage right now. Next would be the druid, who's going to take that and fails that, and the druid is dead. Now it's Merxus' turn. The fighter is dragging the druid, who now just passed. And the bard has passed all of them and all of you, and is probably about 80 feet away from 70 feet away from the house. I think that puts them about 30 feet away from you. I mean, the fighter's looking okay. The bard, not so much. The druid is dead, and the caster's at full health. All right. What is that? See if that mop handle hits. Does not.
I can see like bouncing like into it.
Does not hit. Cool. All right.
How
Double
far
those
are
dice
you
for
from?
me.
How far are you from Oki?
14
far are you
damage.
from- How far are you
What's
from
up?
Oki? Oh, okay. Yeah.
You are you knock this guy after whiff, 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 and you hit him in the back of the head. He falls unconscious on the ground. Go.
Bit on him?
I thought you blew a kiss.
What happened?
Chewy.
Yes.
I know, that's what I thought he did.
Now Kith. So as your turn ends, the fighter sees that it is a moot point to keep dragging this dead body, and probably couldn't do anything for them if they wanted. So they are going to dash 50 feet away from you guys, and then the caster is going to dash another 60 feet out of range for Merxus. Merxus, you can get a opportunity attack if you'd like. It's You miss. You swipe at the robe, but the robe isn't a person, so it hits and kind of swipes. And
You're like, oh,
they are now 60 feet away from Merxus, who is 70 feet away from the house.
oh shit.
There are a handful of corpses along that line of people, and I believe everybody else is like 30 feet away from the house.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, Merxus, you are now chasing somebody down in the middle of the field. Two people. So yeah, they we're up at Orla.
All
I
right.
have a question for you, Merxus. Are you going to continue chasing them down? So
Like, joke's on you. In 7 to 14 days, you might contract COVID.
yeah. So you go, yeah, you better run. And as you turn back towards the group, we'll see you guys are going to reconvene at the farm, and actually that's where we're going to take a break. So please stick around. Finishes up. We're going to finish up with the second half here in just a little bit. We're going to take about 5-10 minute break just to use the facilities, and so I can get another cup of tea. And we will be right back. the Feibel family is like about a Jewish family, because that's why there's the last name's Mauskowitz.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows that. I learned it like 3 years ago. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Roll for Revelry.
Welcome, watchers.
My name is AJ. I am our DM for this campaign. Sure. And we have been introduced to a number of characters of our group here. We have Orla Bitterfoot, a gnomish frost gnome, which is a homebrew. And then we have Kada, a white dragonborn, with his Drake companion, which is the Drake Warden class. A red Drake, right? Yep. Oki is his name. And then we also have Merxis the Merciful, a on-the-run monk from his monastery, with another homebrew class, which is a I think I called it the Way of the Iron Kettle, which is like a brewmaster kind of subclass, which is kind of cool. And then we have Narnip Ningle, which is delightful to say, especially when you're in the midst of things. It's a lot of alliteration, and not difficult to say at all. So Narnip Ningle is an arcane trickster rogue who's got who can dip her hand in a little magic. And you kind of we've learned thus far that Merxis has had a package that he was to deliver. After some poking and prodding from the group, they realized that it was just a loaf of bread, and that it was told to be a very important package. But on his way to the delivery, he was attacked by several individuals shooting arrows at him from the rooftops. Thankfully for his monk speed, he was able to book it, despite how hefty and large of a dude he is, he can run, which we might change. I don't know. We'll see. So that said, we are Roll for Revelry. We are all kind of new at this, so bear with us with the rules. But we like having fun. We like making some stuff up. We got some homebrew stuff coming on, and kind of evolving, so bear with us with that too. It's ever changing, does not need to be set in stone, and we're also using a Unearthed Arcana subclass as well, which is the playtest from Wizards of the Coast and from Dungeons and Dragons, so they'll probably change some rules as far as balancing, and we will of course learn from them and tip our hat to them when they do finalize that subclass, just because they are better at it than we are, clearly. So we meet back up with our group after they were approached by some individuals who were to clear the farm that is holding store goods that are rightfully belong to the Anchor of Bryn, a nearby city. After some confusion and some realizations, the group found out that the farm was not being attacked by goblins, but in fact was owned by goblins or occupied by goblins. And these goblins, we'll have a chat with here in a second, but they decided to turn and fight off this other adventuring group, killing one and disposing of another, and then the three probably got away, running back to the protections of the town and the city nearby. So we jump back in with our group just after the battle, kind of figuring out what's going on, and there are currently about 7 goblins fearful and hiding in the cellar of this farmhouse. And a small fire has started in the back of the farmhouse near the barn due to a stray fire arrow shot by one of the mercenaries initially. So I will give the floor to you all. What is everybody doing?
I would like to. I heard Narnip yell fire, and so me being a frost gnome, I can help this situation out. So I run up to where that fire is, and I cast Ray of Frost at it.
Sure. Well, so, I mean, it's a cantrip. We're not going to have you attack it.
Right.
It is a ray of frost. As much as a solid 1 foot radius beam of frost can start to dilute this this fire that is now growing. You're able to kind of Iceman it for a little bit and start to deter some of the fire, but it is it's certainly not stopped. You're helping the process, but to my understanding, Narnip also grabbed a using her mage hand, grabbed a pail and started scooping up some water from the nearby well. Yeah, so it does some of the job, but not all of it. The fire is still going, but a less of a rate.
Has it caught fire to the house at all, or is it just in fields
It's next to the barn.
next to the
So
barn? Has
the
it caught?
next thing that would be catching is probably going to be the barn.
So I'm just going to keep on using my mage hand, and then I'm also going to look for another bucket and see if I can use my own hands to help, like, get water to dump on the fire and continue to try and put it out.
Make a perception check for me.
$11.
11. There's probably a nearby there's probably like a nearby trough, but I'm not sure what that would do for you.
Ooh. I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gina.
I'm going to yell out, "Fire! Help!" to see if I can get Kata and Marcus and the goblins to come, because it seems like the more hands trying to put this out would be the better.
Cool.
You
You guys hear her?
Yeah, I hear. I'm gonna tell Oki to guard the unconscious enemy. I think it was a bard. I don't really remember, or
Yep.
druid. So I'm gonna leave Oki there to guard, and then I'm gonna run over and use the I just lost it. Therma.
I want you to try to say it before I tell you how to say it.
Thaumaturgy.
There you
Thaumaturgy.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Nailed
gonna use that, which is a cantrip, and I'm going to use it to dim the flames for a minute.
So as a cantrip, it is a very simple kind of spell off the top of your head. If you know it by heart kind of mentality. You're able to kind of prevent the flames from swelling. You're not reducing the fire, but you're certainly preventing its growth. So yeah, it's helpful. We'll say with all hands on deck. Merxus, what are you doing to try to help? I would say it's probably encroaching on a 5 by 5 foot, maybe 5 by 10 foot radius, or not radius, but line along the side of the barn, and then getting taller. Sure thing. While you jump onto this fire, you dove onto a fire that is bigger than you are, so you're going to take 11 fire damage. And you're rolling back and forth. It's you are now rolling back and forth on a fire. And at first, it seemed like it was helpful, but now that you're on fire, you're catching the parts that were put out back on fire, and you are currently on fire. I'm going to say for the next round, every few little bit, you're going to start getting some fire damage. All right. What's everybody doing?
I'm gonna turn to him. Is he still in the fire or is he out of it now?
Are you in the fire? Did you roll out?
Get out of the fire!
My ray of frost on him with my other hand. So I've got one hand like on the fire and the other hand like
All right.
trying to put him out a little bit.
Your ray of frost is like a ray of frost. It's an attack. So if you don't mind rolling the 1d8 for damage to
Oh,
him.
shit, I'm so sorry.
Is it 1d8 or 2d8?
Let me see.
Anyways, while she's figuring that out, she'll give us an update in a second. Gina, are you doing anything with this well?
2d8.
Kata, are you doing okay? Like,
So sorry.
With the well, I don't think I can lift the trough because I'm not very strong. So I'm just gonna keep on like pulling buckets out myself and commanding the mage hand to pull out buckets and dump buckets onto the fire.
I'll say that there was probably 2 buckets, so you have a nice little system of the mage hand handing you a bucket, and then you taking it while the mage hand takes the other one and dips it. So there's like this assembly line with you and yourself.
Like a Jimmy John's commercial.
Sure. Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
Give us a ring.
Or just a sandwich.
Or
Yeah. We'll kind of talk about that stuff here at the end. But yeah, moving forward. No, it was perfect time for that. I just wanted to mention a few other things that we have on the docket. But we'll get to that. So I mean, it's exciting stuff. But that said, cool. So I'll say that after some rolling around, because I'd imagine you continue to roll, you put yourself out. You also take how many points of damage, Orla?
14.
14 points of cold damage. Fuck. You know what? Yeah. No, it's not. Yeah, it's a magical frost. It knows how to maintain its frost, and I'll say I'm not gonna put that on you.
Why are you bad with water? Oh, God.
Everybody's take their 80 feet too.
Mm.
All right.
Got some burnt hairs.
All right. Yep. So both of your extinguished.
Little burnt boy.
I'm pretty strong. I'm gonna try and lift the trough. After it's been pointed out to me, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that actually is something I could probably do.
Make a strength check.
I don't know why that was so funny, but it was. Bert boy.
You little burnt boy.
Burning boy.
Burning boy.
Oh, yeah, 15.
15. I mean, it's a wooden trough. It is full of water currently. And I'll say you're able to like get it up, but you're having a hard time moving with it by yourself. Yeah. Make a strength check real quick. What's up?
I really wanted to say that's what she said. Sorry.
Okay. 8. All right. Well, we'll say for the sake of progressing this, and you guys are not firefighters, with the two of you, you're able to pick up the trough and kind of, you're not like heaving it, but you're able to like I don't know, like two older guys trying to do handyman work that don't ever really do handyman work. So we've all been there. We all have dads and uncles and such. So when they don't know how they're doing anything or what they're doing, it's just kind of that scene. And you guys, instead of like pouring delicately, you kind of end up just dropping it next to it. You know, wave of this water kind of sloshes up. And it starts to fizzle out between Narnip's smaller buckets to put out the flames that have risen up onto the barn side. You guys put out the big core of it, and the fire is now out.
Cool.
Work makes that dream work.
Yes.
Cool. So what are you doing?
I'm gonna return to the Drake and check on the unconscious enemy.
Still unconscious.
Yep.
Um,
I'm gonna search its body, I guess. Its clothes and gear.
Yeah, no, you're welcome to search the still living but dying corpse.
Well, no, which unconscious or which one am I at?
Like knocked out to the point where like when you guys go knocked out unconscious, they start making death saving throws and they're going to die.
Oh, okay. So there's no interrogation to follow.
You could probably heal him and bring him back to life, but until that moment, he's not going to be cooperative in an interrogation.
Okay, so in the meantime, I'm gonna have Oki start digging with his gigantic drake claws 2 graves, and then I'm gonna search the bodies of these 2 enemies.
All right. So, as you search the bodies, you will find on the bard, you find a small light bow. You find a short sword. You find 17 pieces of gold. And you find, are you going to strip him naked of his clothes? Do you, like, how much he take?
Just search him for anything that might be of use.
Yeah, okay. I would say those are the things that are of use. There's a flute that he has, because he's a bard.
Yeah.
Quiver of arrows, but it's really up to you on how much.
Nope.
This human being, or, well, this elf being of his belongings.
Nope. Okay, so I'm gonna put the one that is dead into his newly dug grave.
Okay.
And just have a moment of silence for him with Oki. And,
so you buried the dead one.
Yep, buried the dead one. And then let me see if I have any healing potions.
Yeah, we should heal him so we can get some information.
So with the not dead one, I'm gonna bound him in rope, and then put him in his grave, and then call for somebody to come help me heal him.
All right.
Hey guys, I need a healer.
How is anybody else in need of some healing? I say, come over by me. Like, I'll get y'all patched up. Yeah. So we're just gonna stand like around it because I think I have some range. Yes, six creatures of my choice that I can see within 60 feet. Never mind. So, but I can see him, right? Or is he in the grave?
He's in the grave.
Okay, so I have to go up to the grave so I can be able to see both of you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, what is this? Do we know this bard's name? Okay. So since I am speaking to Marxus as well, I'm gonna say, hush, little Marxus, don't say a word. Orla's gonna give you a healing word. But then I also am singing it to the bard.
Can you do two people at once, or do you?
Yep.
It's gonna take
Up to 6 people.
up to 6 people
yeah.
with healing word.
Mhm. It's mass healing. plural.
Mass healing.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Good spell.
Let's see how many
Yes.
points you heal him.
Okay, so it's 1d4 plus 4. So 6.
Cool. 6 points. The bard is back up to 6 points. Take your 6 points, Merxus. And as you did you gag him too, or just bind him?
No, just bound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, in that case,
Yeah, not savage. Just
he comes to and he's like, What are you doing? Where's everyone? What happened to them?"
your friends fled. They left you. They also left your friend, who we killed. We've brought you back to life for answers. You lied to me, so you will die. But first, bring some honor to your name and tell us what we want to know.
What do you? I didn't lie to you. What do you mean? What is going on?
And then I turn to everyone and I say, somebody else can question him and let me know when you're done. My charisma is low, and I'm pretty much going to kill him if I talk any longer.
I'm gonna
Such a noble. It's such a great.
let me see what my intimidation is.
Instead of persuasion or anything, you're just gonna go straight to intimidation.
Oh, my persuasion is pretty high, but my intimidation is also pretty high too.
Roll an intimidation check.
Yeah, I'm gonna do intimidation.
Both I want to see. Yeah, instead of an advantage situation, I want to see both of you roll because a singed frosted cat poofing up behind him may not be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a natural.
Well, yeah, but I do imagine Orla could be like, "Look what I
Nat
did
20
to
for
him.
Orla.
You just dropped out.
He's,
So
he's my friend. Look what I did to him."
yeah. So yeah, you have. What do you say? What is your intimidation? What are you gonna say to them?
I'm gonna say, you listen here. You're giving bards a bad name. I'm a bard, and we have a code. And you, my good sir, are breaking that. You tell me what you're doing here right now.
So
It's actually 25, so we're only at 20 from 25.
yeah, it's nat 20. He's intimidated. He's not only is he in a grave bound, but what looks like from his angle, the largest gnome he's ever seen. Almost standing at a proper 5 foot tall, is leaning over his grave and like, you and furious. And then you see Merx is behind, and he goes, "Yeah." Much. I'm just gonna turn you into what's his name?
Tiger.
No,
Heavens to murder.
yeah. All right, Snagglepuss.
Yeah.
So pull one of those moves where you're like hitting at it and you're able to snatch it back up. So you it is. He's like, what did you ask him? What do you want to know?
I had a conversation with those goblins, and they told me that this was their farm. So
yeah, it's their farm.
You told me that they were trying to steal.
They're stealing from the Anchor of Bryn. Those goods and those store goods belong to them. There was an agreement made, and they've yet to deliver.
Okay, you
Their
can give us a little bit
their
more
crop
information.
Is a part of the Anchor of Bryn, and we were sent out here to procure it and to rid them of it, so that we can, in fact, gain the goods and the resources that we need for the city.
So you're telling me that you wanted to harm these people to take their goods because they belong to the city?
They weren't willingly giving them up.
I mean, I feel like there's other ways to go about it than to just like invoke violence. And then you bring us in on that. Very deceiving.
It could help. You look like very capable people.
We are very capable people.
Yeah. So I said that they were there. The goblins won't deliver the goods that we're told are rightfully belong to the Anchor of Bryn.
Well, we definitely like to have conversations over fist throwing. So next time.
So I assume I've heard all this. At this point, I'm going to go walk away over to I'm going to whisper something to Oki, and I'm going to walk away over to the cellar door and go tell the goblins. I'm going to go open it and say, all right, goblins, last chance. Come out here and tell me what is going on, or I'm coming down there and I'll kill you all.
What? Fine. And they slowly kind of start to slink out of the cellar one by one, kind of crouching down by. They're like, what do you mean? What do you want to know? We're here. We're farmers. This is our farm.
So I bring them over towards the grave site, where as we approach, clearly there's my friends, the grave with a bound bard in it, and now a number of smaller, fresher graves that Oki has dug since we walked away. And I stand between the bard in the hole and the goblins, and I say, somebody's lying to me. Somebody's lying. And that is not tolerable. We will find the truth, and the liars will die.
So you see one of the younger, middle-aged goblin is like looking in kind of the one that you've been talking to, and behind you see a hand pop up on his shoulder and slide him back, and you see a super dark green with like these white blotches on their skin, and it's a super old goblin. He's probably got to be pushing maybe 30 years old. Goblins don't live real long. So, like 30-year-old goblin, and he's got darker robes, and like a little Yoda stick, and is kind of in that ballpark, a little bit taller, a little bit skinnier, and a little bit more gaunt, and he's says, well, we've had a number of arrangements with Calda Bryn, the Calda of the Anchor of Bryn, and as you guys know, Calda is like the mayor kind of title. So Calda Bryn, and yes, we do provide a number of resources for the city. We could not fulfill this year's crop because we've had poor crop growth due to the storm that came through a little about 3 months ago. We told this to Lady Bryn, and she was very understanding, as she always is. We've had a standing agreement with her. Now, as for others in the bureaucracy of the city, I would imagine that this probably did not bode well for them and their reports, if you will, and you have individuals that seek what they can take from us, and we only have enough stores for ourselves. So that said, I think you have all of your answers. If you please stop badgering my family, we're hiding from these attackers that wished to take what we don't have to offer.
Well, we do apologize for the first initial interaction that you did have with us. We, just stumbled across this bard with us, and he had not given us the full story. Stumbled across and this bard. Now that we do know the full story, we do believe that you are not in any way, at least I don't believe you're in any way at fault, especially if you had a nice understanding with the person that you made this deal with. So I'm sorry we got off on the wrong foot, but we are here not to harm you at all.
I also address the little goblin. I say, do you owe them any crops currently?
Well, yes, we owe them, but we've told them that we don't have what we owe. We have, like I said, a standing arrangement. It's not that we owe one or the other. We work for the city to provide resources, and we sell them those goods. But when we don't have those goods, we cannot sell them.
Right.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna let everyone else. I'm gonna just stand back and let everyone else say their piece, and then I'll take my final action in this encounter. Would anybody else like to address the goblins or our prisoner?
The bard work for? Whose order is he here under? Because it doesn't sound like it's the Caldas.
Right.
So I'm going to ask the bard. Who do you work for? Huh?
What?
Wait, what?
I think she's asking the bard who he works for.
Yeah.
Okay. Says, well, we're shield hands. We were hired by the city.
Oh. So the Calda is not your boss.
I mean, we work for the city. There's bounty boards, and we picked one up, and there was a job posted, so we took our job. We plan to do our job. We do. We've done them before.
Do you still have the job posting?
Because I don't have it. And he said, crew had it.
Who's that?
Why should I be telling you any of this? And you can kind of tell, he's not in a great position, and he's kind of realizing it. And while your intimidation got a lot of information out of him initially, he's still bound in a grave. So at a certain point, intimidation meets a level of, I'm not going to get out of this. The threat is so real.
This seems like the perfect time then. Oki, raise our prisoner out of the grave. And so Oki's going to use his drake tail to hook into the rope and pull him to his feet out of the grave.
Okay.
And so I presume he's standing there bound.
So is he being held over the grave via tail upside down?
He's standing now.
Okay.
But he's still bound.
Okay. He's like, well, okay. Are you going to let me go, or what's going on here?
No, what's going to happen now is, in just a moment, my drake will cut you free. And then I will kill you. But I will not murder someone in a grave while they are defenseless. You have lied, and you have dishonored yourself. And for that, you will die, as I said.
Nothing I lied about.
Well, you kind of got us into your situation, without telling us everything that was going on.
I asked if you helped. We would offer you a reward. You said yes.
Oh.
You went back on our deal, if anything.
What if we let him live if he takes us to ever, like, who are you supposed to report back to once your mission was accomplished?
I don't know. I don't have the sheet.
Oh, well, if he doesn't know, then yeah, he's no good to us. He's given us all the information that he can give us.
I mean, God, I'm so torn. Because these goblins didn't do anything wrong. And you know it. And I know that you were just doing your job. But you should have chosen a different career.
A different career. This is what we do. This is where we're shield hands. There's jobs that we take. We work for the city. They post jobs. We do the jobs.
Stealing from poor, defenseless farmers.
Right.
That sounds good.
Narnit, make a history check.
I do. Wait, let me check. See if I have
11.
I mean,
the thing is that if
He's-
he knows that I cast it on him, he can choose just not to speak.
he's
can tell
he's
he's telling the
right.
truth.
Like shield hands are mercenaries for the city. Basically, is their title. They're adventuring parties that go out and get things, procure things for people, do jobs for people, and do jobs for the city. Specifically resource oriented, because there are, again, 4 floating landmass islands above you, and those landmass islands don't necessarily have resources of their own that they already haven't tapped. So a good chunk of what the anchors do is procure resources. And you're familiar with the term shield hand as a group that of adventurers that would go out and do those types of jobs. Not necessarily go and like, oh yeah, here's a field of hay, go grab that, but smaller things like go get more rare items that you are familiar with and that kind of stuff.
Okay, enough of this talk. Oki, mark him and set him free. And with that, Oki uses his claw to engrave on this goblin's or on this bard's arm a symbol of sort. And then I look at this bard and I say, if you ever come back to this farm, I will find you and I will kill you. I don't care what the board says. I don't care what your job is. And you tell the others who might take such a role to leave these goblins alone.
All right, fine. And as you are you engraving what I'd imagine you're engraving?
Yes.
Okay. So as you tell him this and he agrees to it, you see the claw from Oki's claw just engrave on his shoulder a twisting pattern of 2 tails.
Does it look like the bread?
Are you a baker?
Check.
Nat 20. Woo!
Nice.
It looks like the bread, or at least the bread could have looked like this, rather. This is much more definition for just being a drake and a young drake. Dragons are still very intelligent, and he's able to do a pretty good job. This is something that he's done before from the commands of his companion, from the suggestions of his companion, so this isn't a first thing that he would do. But yeah, he's done this before, and the bread is also just a twist of bread that was kind of smushed up. So if it's a twist of bread, yeah, but I would say that there's certainly a resemblance.
All right. Well,
One with less superstition,
Yes. Let's go. Yeah. No, we can find where this package needs to be delivered. Yeah. Let's do it.
So what is everybody doing?
Do you want to? Well, I mean, there's not really much around to look at, right? Because we just kind of stumbled upon this place.
It's not the city that wants it, though. Right? It's like the floating islands that want it. And Bryn isn't one of the floating islands, I don't think, right? Right, but we're going to yeah. But like the Calda didn't care, and she's the one that's like in charge of the city, so
We could go to her and let them know, let her know that there was a bounty on those people that she had said were safe.
Yeah.
And it clearly seems like there's something going on.
Yeah.
And that they were going to kill them. Like, that's just insane to me.
Yeah, I'm down with that plan.
Cool. Well, we got to go in the city anyways, right? Figure out this package.
I'm gonna turn to Kata and say, like, that marking kind of looked like the bread. Do you know what do you think about the bread?
I think it looks like twisted bread.
Why did your little friend make a twisted bread mark on that bard?
That is not a mark of twisted bread. That is the mark of evil. That is the mark of AJ, help me out here. Which is the bad one?
Tiamat.
Tiamat. That is the mark of Tiamat, the dragon god. If the bread is a resemblance of that, then no good will come from the bread.
Sure. It's in my back.
What do you work for, the postal service?
In past campaigns, I feel like you guys have had the same conversation, but with much more important items.
Oh, definitely.
Who's got the bread?
I'm gonna look very suspiciously at Marcius and say, "Why do you want this evil bread?"
What are you in heat? Oh,
I
Is
turn.
that what that is?
thought you were in heat.
Yeah.
Is that what heat cat? I don't know, man. I got one cat. All right. Moving forward.
Okay, so before we depart, I guess I ask Narnip, what do you know of this? What do you know of the Tiamat, the dragon god?
I don't think I know anything about that. I opened this package that Marcius had, and it's this bread, and I didn't think that there was anything like baked into it. It didn't seem like it, but it looks like the symbol that you guys carved onto the bard's arm, so that's why I was asking about it, but I don't know anything about this god or this religion that you're talking about. What do you know about it?
It's a long story. How about I tell you as we go to the city, and so we don't stand and bake in the sun all day.
Do you think this is magical bread? Do you need to do like a check on this magical evil bread?
I could do an Arcana check.
You're not eating the bread.
+8.
Yeah, I do not know if it's magical. It could be. It looks like a pretzel to me.
Orla, do you want to see if it's magical?
Yeah. I
Okay.
rolled a 22.
A 22 on your Arcana check to see if this bread is magical.
I'm like waving my hands over it, like
Nice rye. Delightful.
So it's not an identify spell, so you can't identify whether an item is magical or not. But you can think about the uses of Arcana and the uses that you would or one would enchant specific items or whatnot. You can't think of. I mean, there's items that are edible that are magic.
is this one?
You could assume that it is. You don't know for sure because you don't have the identify spell. You're not casting a spell to
But
identify if it's magic.
Right. But do I sense like an aura of Arcana coming up?
Again, that would be like you tell me at that point. You can sense all you want, but you do not have the magical means for me to tell you that answer. If you feel like it could be magical, I'm just saying that there are magic items that are
sense.
So there are you're doing a check on how much you know about magic.
So like you might have read that in a book somewhere that you could make magic bread, but you don't know if this is that bread.
Yeah.
Got you.
If you were to cast identify, you would know whether it's magical or not. You would know exactly the location if it's or no, I don't think that's detect magic, but you'd know every bit or most bit of what it could do. You'd.
So I'm going to just tell the group it could be magical bread. I know that there's magical bread out there.
Which, let's be real, that's pretty on brand.
What if
I think we
Marcus eats like a little bit of the bread and we watch
Yeah.
him and see if it changes him?
Let the janitor eat a piece.
Marcus.
Well, firstly, I will say this. I don't have my healing powers anymore, so I would have to take a long rest before I would be able to help anybody. Keep that in mind. Unless anybody else has any kind of like healing.
What if we take it with us to the city and then we let the janitor eat a piece? And if it hurts him there, then at least we're near an apothecary.
Sure.
And if it doesn't hurt him, then we will know. But we won't do it out here in the woods. Far from.
All right, let's go to the city.
Before we leave, I turn around to the goblins and I say, "Goblins, I promised that if they returned to harm you, I would kill them. And now I make this promise to you. If I find out that you have lied when we get to the city, I will return and you will die." And then I turn around and walk away.
And I'm going to say,
All right. I don't know. I mean, they hear you. They hear you all. And then they turn around and they go back to their farm.
AJ, on the journey to the city, I said I would tell about the dragon lore. Do you want to?
Would you like me to, or do you want to?
I'm gonna let you. That way, if there's anything I think of outside of that, I can keep it in my brain, secret still.
Cool.
But you know it pretty well.
Well, yeah. I mean, you made it up though, so.
Yeah, but in case I make more things up on the fly,
All right.
then I can talk to you about them later.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't play my hand too much here.
Okay. So, and if there's anything that I'm saying that's too much, just I don't know, raise your hand and let me know.
I feel like everything so far is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But I would also say maybe wait for Gina to get back because she's the one that asked.
Yes.
no that time.
Oh, I need a lot less.
Yeah. Once the Drake gets bigger, potentially we could like take turns riding it, and you could take a nap. But
Ooh, I love that.
it's got some growing to do yet.
Wait, am I big? Am I small enough to get on its back?
You probably at this point could ride the Drake, but I would say this: the Drake likes you all, but in that kind of like standoffish, it kind of like fucks with you sort of way. So you would need to do like probably like a night watch of like bonding with it or do some kind of like bonding event before you can like ride the dragon.
That makes sense.
We did just meet like an hour ago. I know we did battle and all that, but
It's like what last campaign you guys knew each other for 2 weeks.
Right.
All right. So as you walk over the next hour, Kata goes into a very deep aspect of what is and what isn't mythology of oh man, I probably should have brought this up, of the mythos behind Dragonborn culture. And it's kind of boring. But and you've heard of Tiamat, and you've heard of Bahamut, the platinum dragon. And Tiamat is a five-headed chromatic dragon. Each of the heads is a different color of dragon. Black, white, red, green, and blue.
Yep.
And then Tiamat is platinum. But there, to your knowledge, there's no such thing as a platinum dragon outside of Tiamat. There's copper, gold, silver. I'm probably missing some, but
bronze.
if I'm wrong. Anyways, so bronze. There's a story, and he tells you, yep, that at one point all that was evil of Bahamut resided in Bahamut's tail. Bahamut sought after the god Arathis, the god of civilization and order, and to prove his worth as her mate, he removed his tail and therefore some of his power. And his removal of the tail was procured by Tiamat, and Tiamat ate the tail, and is referred to having two tails in their body, so they've doubled the power that is derived from anger and vengeance. So Tiamat has eaten the tail and is symbolically has these two tails. So in Dragonborn culture, as a form of like malevolence, is this symbol of the twisted two tails of a dragon that are very fantasy-esque mentality of like it's like a triple twist and then two pointed barbed tails, and at the bottom they intersect as if they were a figure eight. So he kind of tells you that short little story and the aspect of like this yin and yang of Bahamut and Tiamat. Yeah, am I forgetting anything, Bob?
No, the only thing I would say is like the Dragonborn like idealized Bahamut. So like they all aspire to be a platinum dragon in a sense. And the mark of Tiamat is almost like the scarlet letter of Dragonborn culture. Like you get that like, somehow emboldened on you to mark that you've done something that basically casts you out of Dragonborn society. And that would usually indicate that you've done something evil and egregious.
Cool. I just gotta say, that's one of the fucking coolest mythos things that I've ever heard anybody make up, and I don't know how much of it was made up, or if he and I were just kind of jiving, but I think it's really cool. But I'm a nerd, so... all right.
At some point, you guys will get the full backstory, but that's a pretty good summation of it.
Hey!
Was Tiamat the being that was like terrorizing the fields around this area 50 years ago during the I don't remember what it was called. Not the Awakening. The Reckoning? No. The Emergence. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So
no.
Tiamat is a god, and this is like a story not dissimilar to like Thor and his hammer, or like, I don't know. I mean, the battle of Hercules and the Hydra in our day.
Yeah, I would say
this mythology of the pantheon of gods, and it is believed to have happened, but happened so long ago that these creatures were the foundations of life. Am I right? Wrong? Let me know.
Okay. Yeah, I would say if it helps you put it on a timeline, Dragonborn believe they are the literal descendants of Batma and the civilization god. Like, we believe that's... Was it?
Arathis?
Yeah. Like, Dragonborn society believes that they are descendant of them. So it'd be like in the previous, but in the Emergence, like, Dragonborn was already a well-established culture. So it'd be like well before that. Yeah. Coastal mountains. Like Pacific Northwest-ish.
Coastal elites.
Way more literally than you know.
It's, dude. So that said, we'll save that for the post credits. Yeah. I like that. The post credit scene, or after credit scene, whatever they called it on the Marvel movies. So, as you guys all approach, he finishes up telling his story, and you guys are approaching the gates on the outside of town. You see one moment. Cool. So on the outside of town, you do see there's like a small little market. And I believe Gina, I shared with you the map of the Anchor of Bryn. So you're and I shared that with you because you're familiar enough with it. You guys don't have a map currently, but at least you can reference that as a resident of this city, basically. So yeah, you guys are approaching the city gates and the city wall, and you come across what is referred to as Egg Market. And there's a number of stalls, kind of put together stalls and or carts. Travelers would kind of approach this gate and sell their wares from the surrounding areas. It's like a farmer's market. It's like a farmer's market outside of the true city, but it's not just. It's Max.
Oh, Max.
Sorry, our dog's getting into some junk. So farmer's market, but it's not just like farm goods. There's wares and jewels and trinkets and all this other kind of stuff. So there's a market if you guys want it or want to walk through it or see what's going on.
I want to look around and see if there's any like potions little shops.
You so you would find more specialized ingredients for that kind of stuff. You would find flavorings, you might find hops, you might find some small additives, but because grain is such an abundant part of the brew, to buy a sack of grain out here is like you're going into the city. They want to sell you baubles, additives. You can't find any potions, but there's one cart that you do find that the closest thing is like somebody selling what would be like 1800 year curatives, like a tonic that is said to soothe your stomach, or a vial with water and a small worm in it that is to promote weight loss. That kind of stuff.
No. Bougie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they did, dude. Tapeworms. All right, we'll save it.
Okay.
Are there any food carts?
Yep. There's street food.
Is there any like butcher type? Like, is there like, can you buy like quartered animals or?
Not out here. Out here, there's not necessarily like the facilities to maintain that. But there is like kebab carts, cooked meats, ready to eat kind of stuff. Not necessarily like full spread of like, hey, I can buy a ham.
I'm gonna go to one of the kebab carts. I think.
Huh?
How much for kebab? The kebab.
The kebab would be 2 silver.
I think you misunderstood me. How much for the kebab?
Would you do the whole leg?
Yes. This is my friend, a dragon. You think he wants €1?
I see that. 5 gold.
Okay. I give him 5 gold, and I cut off enough for us to each have a portion, and I give the rest to Oki.
Okay.
And then at this point, I'm gonna give it to Oki and be like, "Hey, buddy, we're gonna go into this city. Probably not a good idea if you roll with. Go chill in the mountains or the woods or whatever. I'll give you a call when we're cool."
All right. So you see, he snatches up this little bit. You guys each have a kebab yourselves, and the guy starts just packing up. He's good for the day. Like he made 5 gold. He sold all his inventory. He's like, all right, I'm out. And you see this dragon snatch the kebab and finish it off, and then kind of just trot away with the bone. I imagine it's like on like a Flintstone style bone of rotisserie. Because I said kebab, but I feel like you thought I meant euros. But
You're right.
whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
Spinning meat thing.
Exactly.
No.
Dude, I can't wait till we can all play in person. All right, we'll save it. So moving forward, you guys head into the. I mean, is there anything else that you guys want to do in these little shops?
No.
Narnip, you would know very well that there's shops in the city walls as well.
You can't find what you're looking for here. There's stuff in the city, so let's keep moving.
No.
So you guys head into the city. You are met at the gates by some guards. Their only request is, what are you doing? We're like, why are you entering the city and what's going on? Like, who are you? Excellent. Sure.
And I'm just helping him with that.
You're helping him? Go on. You good?
Thank you.
Like Orla, you said too much. Like, he's already like, all right, cool. And you're like, I'm with him. And he's just like kind of scurried along past anyway.
They didn't ask us they didn't ask, they just like waved us right through. They weren't like, and you guys?
I mean, if you guys said you were with him, he's the Ngiba are this is their main temple is here. Yeah, they have the I'll look it up here in a second. But yeah, their main temple's here, so they're not too concerned with that aspect or with you guys,
Got it.
roping around with them. But the Temple Karis is here, which is the main temple post emergence of the Ngiba monastery. So you guys head into what is known as Priest's Valley, the southern part of the Anchor of Bryn. What would you like to do? Okay. Make a perception check. Can't find a down street as much as you'd think. Can't, there's not even an up street, let alone a down street. There's definitely locals. I think you guys in the entirety of Priest Valley, you might see one set of guards on patrol. Again, or I guess not again, because I kept telling Gina this last night, but it was not. It's not a great part of town. There's like kind of rundown buildings. Some buildings are boarded up entirely, but ironically, every once in a while you come across a temple of some god. There's a temple of Arathis. There's a temple of Pelor. And usually there are like benign kind of common aspects of gods in the civilized society. Arathis being a god of order in civilization. Pelor is the god of the sun and agriculture, kind of the growth that the sun gives to the earth.
Interesting.
I mean, I took a pantheon and then I added about 5 or 6 others. So if we want to talk gods, we can talk gods for a while. But we'll save that for after credits or an extra thing or something like that. So then that way I don't bore everybody that doesn't want to watch it. Anyways, that said, every once in a while, those temples, like, they are a little bit gaudier. Not gaudy, but they're a little bit higher.
They stand out.
I guess. They don't really fit in. It's kind of strange. It's like all the money in that area went to the temples and did not go to the public that surrounds it. It in Narnip's experience, it's on the up and up. It used to be a lot worse, So
About to get gentrified.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning at. There's a gentrification, but I don't know. I mean, it's also run down not through systemic racism and hyper class imbalance. But we'll talk about that at another. That's not this stream. So
Well, why don't we go to like your temple and ask them about where we're supposed to deliver this thing? Because there's no down street.
where you're at right now doesn't look familiar. I don't think you know unless you tell me. Do you know? Do you know the Priest Valley? Do you know this district of? Okay, so yeah, I mean nothing looks familiar to you. You don't necessarily know where that interaction was. And I know not everybody else knows what we're talking about, but that's okay.
But like, don't you want to eat a piece of it first before we wrap it up?
off one of the dented parts that you dented in anyway. All right. Cool. Roll a Constitution check. Saving throw. Okay. What would you guys like to do?
That's it? Ah.
How do you feel?
I think that
Oh,
seems
you
fair.
should just go in by yourself. We should wait outside. I don't think we should go in with you.
I'll go in with you.
Same.
I'll go in with you.
I'll join.
All right. Yeah, I'll wrap your package back up, and I'm gonna disguise myself to look like one of you. So I'm gonna like mimic what you look like, but not look like you, but look like similar to like your. Yeah.
Sit down, Max. You sit down.
So you would know that, and you would recall that when you were on your way from the Temple Karis, that you passed through a number of districts before you got to Priest's Valley, where then you had an exchange. You are quite a ways away from Temple Karis. While this is like the temple district of gods, it is not a temple district of the monasteries and the monk monastery. So
What time of day is it?
I would say, you guys woke up, you went, hung out, fought, figured it out. I'd imagine it's like 4 or 5, early evening.
How long until sundown?
Like 3 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours.
This must be summertime.
Sure.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, I see it now.
Okay.
Can't now. What did you say before?
Oh, I said yes, it is a joyous time. Let's deliver this bread.
Let's do it.
We should just go do this package drop off before we sign out for the day, if you will.
Wait, so you guys, are you dropping the package off back at the temple? Or are you trying to find down street? Okay. So you guys,
I thought we were going to ask for clarification as to where we were supposed to deliver it from the people at the temple instead of just like leaving the package there. What if they try and take it from you?
This. I have a proposition. If it's going to take us over an hour to walk all the way to Temple Karis, the janitor seems hell-bent on getting a beer. Let's let him refill his flask. We can ask some locals if they know where this down street is. And if we're in and out within a half hour, then if we need to, we can still make it to the temple by the end of the day. But if we find out where the street is, maybe we don't have to walk all that.
Yeah.
How does that sound? Okay,
Let's
well,
do
you guys are going to talk to everyone because I am not very charismatic. So I made the plan, but that's as far as I go.
I don't know.
Age-old question.
Oh,
This is
you're talking
the
about tavern.
yeah. This is the idyllic session one conversation that you guys have always had.
So, I would say, I know every single time we're like this.
Oh, do you go to the dive bar or the
What
fancy
bar should we go? But like, this is all we have during COVID is like imagining what imaginary bars we can go to.
tavern?
Say, I do think that more of the like ones we were describing, dive bars, I think people would have a little bit more information as to things that go on, or would be more willing like to talk to us about things that go on in the city. Things that are a little bit more uppity, people would probably be less comfortable with us being there and probably wouldn't talk to us very well.
Be a bunch of college kids that don't really know the area that well.
Hey, if we hear loud music, that's not where we want to be. We want to be somewhere with potentially a pool table and where all of the drinks come out of one handle.
And where we
Sounds
can have like a conversation. Because I
Right.
hate it when it's too loud and you can't have a conversation at a bar.
Turn the music down.
Narnit, make a history check.
Okay. Oh no, are we gonna go to that bar? Eight.
You know the place.
All right, let's go to this bar. It's a good bar.
What's your name?
You walk up, and
Cheers.
in Priest Valley, there's a tavern that just has a beer mug on the sign.
Dope.
Oh, the sloppy beer.
The sloppy beer. Sounds like a good place.
So many inappropriate jokes.
Yes.
There are like three people that turn and notice you, but it's like a crowded bar. You're like you said, it's happy hour. Everybody's returning from wherever they work. They're going to have a pint. They only serve beer, but then they just started serving whiskey about 2 years ago, and they're very proud of that fact. So yeah, like three people look over and they're like, okay, and it's like I said, it's a crowded pub, crowded tavern. No one pays you mind. Nobody's challenging you. They're just like, all right. Where'd y'all like to sit? There's you notice that there's I'll give you the layout like I did before. Is a bar rail off to your right, with a handful of seats. It L's into the wall, and there's a handful of tables off to your left as you walk into the front door. And there's a handful of barmaids that are going from table to table. There's a bartender. There's probably like two halfling gnome seats on the bar end. But then further down the bar, there's like one or two average, I don't know, average size seats. I don't want to say normal seats because that's rude. There are no high tops at all. They're just picnic style, strong, long stretch tables. There's a hearth on. There's two hearths. There's one closest to the front door that you guys went at, and then there's one on the back wall as well to kind of heat the room.
Well,
It's like 20 by 20. Cool.
Got
it. All right.
So I'm gonna slither through like people's feet and legs and stuff like that because I'm probably much smaller than most people that are in there.
I mean, there are some gnomes in there. There are some.
Yeah.
There's they have stools specifically for halflings and gnomes, so it's like a very mixed culture area. Yeah.
What does that look like? Is it like a small ladder attached to a higher chair?
No, it's a small. It's just a higher chair.
Yeah.
It's one chair and then it spins, so you spin yourself on it and you spin yourself.
Oh.
Love it.
I like that.
Dope.
Yeah.
I see Orla take like 2 or 3 steps trying to like maneuver her way, and then I just say, Orla, hold on. And then I just walk and people move out of the way because I'm a 6.5-foot dragonborn.
All right.
Now,
So you guys find your
I look up at him, I'm like, cool.
you guys find your table and I almost said another name. Marxist, I almost said your old one. You head up to the bar and you flag down the bartender. It's like, yeah, we're gonna get you. Okay. So do you want like liquor or beer? All right. 4 Mamma Jammas coming up.
Man,
And, he takes 4 pints and fills them about 3/4 of the way, and then tops them off with whiskey. Yeah, well. So he goes, it'll be for the 4 of those, it'll be 2 gold. Down street. He looks like he's like, all right, fine, I'll humor him. Because I don't know, where is Down Street? Listen, man, it's busy in here. I don't care if you get your gold. Cool. So as you walk up to the table, there's a barmaid meeting everybody else at the table that says, "What can I get for all of you?" And
I'm like,
this literally happened last campaign too.
it did. Like, I'm so sorry. We didn't know that there was a barmaid in this section.
Okay, fine. And just walks away.
No. And then I was like, but here's this for the trouble. Do I have any gold? Fuck.
I need that to be a frozen still.
Wait.
Your face too.
Shit. Oh, yes. Okay. But I'm going to give her a gold.
Much appreciated.
I recognize the bartender.
Yeah, I mean, this was 3 days ago. Because, like, you did what you did, then you had your little encounter after that, and then you left town, and then now you're back. So, like, it's been, like, 3 days, and gives you, like, a, hey, yep, I see ya, kind of nod, as bartenders tend to do.
I'm going to say I'll be right back, and I'm going to go take one of the halfling gnome chairs at the end of the bar and swivel myself up.
So after I figured it out, by the way. I was like, how can they swivel? Otherwise, the swivel would go into the bottom of the seat. But the swivel is hardened into
Yeah.
the floor, and it goes down into the basement and then back up. So there, everybody on the internet that was wondering
Good
how that
job.
all two of you, whatever. So you spin yourself back up and you hop up there. And after some time, the bartender comes up to get you, and he goes, "Oh, hey,
Hey, good to see you again.
yeah,
Can I
I
have
don't know if a lot's happened since you were last here. I don't know.
a lot's happened? What's happened? Can you tell me a little bit about
I
it?
don't know if there's a lot that's happened. I don't know what I can fill you in on.
Smugglers. Did you have any because you said that smugglers came a year ago. Did you see any smugglers or folks come in within the past couple of days or hear about any smuggling activities or thieves or assassins?
We got raided a few years ago, and that was it because they thought we were a part of a smuggling ring. But no, yeah, that was like a while back.
But they never said what kind of smuggling ring they thought you were part of, right?
No, why would they? We're not that. They wouldn't. I don't think they would disclose that information to us. They wouldn't be like, "Oh, you're not a part of a smuggling ring," and we'd be like, "No, we're not." And they'd be like, "A drug smuggling ring," and they're like, "No, we're still not." They wouldn't do
All
that.
right. All right. Okay.
Beer or
Yes, I'll take a beer. Thank you for answering my questions.
he hands you beer.
All right, and I pay for it, and I swivel back down.
Swivel on down.
Hilarious.
Swivel on down. Um,
As we all sit back at the table, you can see that like a look of dread just comes over my face as I'm drinking this Mamma Jamma drink, and I look at I look at the group.
He took the dog out in that robe the other day and looked like the Big Lebowski walking around in the snow. Sorry to interrupt you, Bob.
So I look at the group. I look at Marxus, and I say, Marxus, tell me one more time, where are you supposed to take this package? Janitor, down street or down the street?
Yes. Fine. I didn't damage anything. I was very careful when I opened it. Why? What did you do? What do you know? Why would somebody want to kill you? I don't know. How good of friends were you? You couldn't even remember his name. You know why?
And I'm just gonna say, like, I'm sorry, what? It's really loud in here. Someone wants to schmill you? Oh, kill you.
Public?
Oh. Oh. Who would want to do that? Is he drinking our drinks?
Yeah, I thought you drank it all at once already.
So he's just like grabbing other people's beverages. And I'm like, I'm gonna stand on the table and I'm gonna grab the mug that's probably like half my size and just chug it before it's gone.
You're like 4 feet tall.
On the table, and I say, I immediately regret my decision to suggest we come to a bar. And clearly now everyone's going to be hammered drunk, and all we've discovered is that our friend here doesn't know where down the street is.
Two things. First of all, when you guys looked at the tag, it did say down street. It did not say down the street. So it was assumed to be an address, and you thought you knew where it was when you were going, and you were kind of told like, oh yeah, it's Priest Valley, you know, you'll find it. It's not hard. And as you were heading to where you thought it was the moment of your encounter. At that moment, there's an individual that walks into the bar, and he goes, all right, new postings, and slams up a stack of papers on a corkboard on the wall. He just and hammers a tack into the wall, and a handful of like there's like 3 or 4 tables that get up, but it's only like one person from each of those tables get up and start walking towards the postings and the papers that he just tacked to the wall.
Shit. I think this is where they post those bounties.
And at that point, we will pick up next week.
Nice.
Cool. So, thank you all very much for watching. We will be here back next week at on Sunday at we're going to do 2 p.m.
2 should be fine.
2 p.m. Eastern time. 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be right back here. We're going to pick up with our small little group of adventurers and see what they do about this postings. See what they do about what's going on with this delivery of a loaf of bread that is now at least 2 days old. And yeah, we'll pick right back up where we left off next week at 2 p.m. That said, we do have a Patreon. We plan on filling it with some stuff. If you think of anything cool that we can fill it with, let us know. We will be doing some I think we want to wait till like maybe, I don't know, 50 viewers, 100 viewers till we do some giveaways and stuff like that. We do have a very unique experience. We have some access to some very cool stuff from some very cool developers and members of the industry. So we'll be doing some cool stuff in the future. Ideally, we'd like to get to a certain point where it's not one or two individuals that keep winning these dope things just because we don't have enough viewers. But most of them, I mean, so cash value items would be, I don't know, like anywhere upwards of $100+ each. Some very cool things, like dice boxes. We could do sets of dice. We can do rolling trays. We could do all kinds of cool accessories for your gaming table, so you can bring your gaming table to life and kind of have some cool moments the way we do. I used a gaming table, a gaming tray I made. That's my gaming tray. I believe we'll once we go back live, we're gonna have a cool DM screen. All stuff that is kind of handcrafted and made. And we will be reaching out to some groups and companies and hopefully have some cool giveaways and that kind of stuff in the future. So that said, please check out our Patreon. We're going to figure that out here in a sec. Please hit the follow button and keep on watching. We like to think we're entertaining. At least we're entertaining ourselves. And if you don't mind watching, cool. But on that note, thank you all for watching, and we will see you. We'll see you next week, Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Stick around. We're gonna have a cool little chat about this past session right afterwards. It's gonna be a separate stream, but we'll be right back on the same channel. See you soon.